A content strategy is like a New Year resolution. You only do it for the first 2 weeks. But it's something with the power of bringing you incredible results. 4 years ago, I started blogging about productivity, which actually led to this book. And my content strategy at the time used to be, well, there was no content strategy, only the weekly struggle to coming up with ideas. Thankfully, there is a way of avoiding the weekly struggle. In this video, I will go through my 7-step strategy, from researching ideas, to getting inspiration, to getting into the content itself, and then to the promotion phase. In the end, you will end up with a step-by-step formula to create your own content plan. And if you are still unsure of whether you should or shouldn't create content, I highly recommend you to check this video. The first step is getting inspiration for your content. So really, I don't start with keyword research, for one simple reason. The people I'm trying to help are also not concerned about keywords, unless they are searching about SEO. But if they are not, really, they are just looking for a solution to their problems, and I'm here to be the one providing them the perfect solution. So my inspiration comes from other people's problems. And no, I don't get any pleasure from reading other people's problems. I get pleasure because I know I can help them, and I will craft my content around their problems. And to find the problems that my audience has, I usually use a combination of 4 main resources. The first one is Answer the Public, and I use it to find exactly what people are searching on Google. And I've made a video about it, so you can check it here. The second is Quora, and Quora is this online community where some people post their questions and other people reply to them. So I always like to see what questions are popping up. The third is Reddit. Even though it can be a bit scary because you can be literally banned by posting content, I really like to dig deep inside their communities, which are called subreddits, to find exactly what people are talking about and what questions they are making. And finally, I use targeted Facebook groups. So I use groups because they can be very specific. You can find a group in pretty much any niche you are looking for. And the best thing about groups is that you get the chance to ask questions too, to get people's replies, and obviously to dig deep into the community and find what people are asking. I recently made a post in one Facebook group asking people what are their main questions about LinkedIn, and I literally got 70+ comments, all filled with insights that I can use for future content. And so after having all of these gold mines of your audience's problems, make sure you are jotting them down. And very importantly, make sure you describe the problems of your audience in their own language. After the inspiration phase, it's time to get strategical and use the spreadsheet. And so in this step, I want to talk about defining your 3 to 5 content clusters. What exactly is a content cluster? A content cluster is a group of content on your blog that relates to each other. And so they form part of a series, and they work very well together because they are all connected to a main keyword or a main cluster. And ideally, you don't want all of these clusters to deviate much from each other. Yoga, vegan meals, and a sustainable lifestyle go together. But please don't try to mix cryptocurrency, design, and fast food recipes. So first things first, define 3 to 5 content clusters around your niche. An example of content clusters could be web development, WordPress, and landing pages. And defining these content clusters is the foundation for what later becomes the content itself. The third step is all about keyword research. And you're probably thinking, oh God, here it comes. Trust me, I used to feel the same way about keyword research. Now I kind of like it because it's my way of finding exactly how I can help the community, how I can help my audience, and eventually get some sales. So remember, you have your clusters. And now it's time to generate keywords for each of those clusters. These keywords will later turn into fully developed blog posts or YouTube videos or any other piece of content you want to create. And so how can you conduct keyword research that it's not boring? Well, my first step is always the same. Using Google and YouTube autocomplete functions. You simply type your keyword and Google and YouTube will autocomplete the sentence for you with different possibilities. So if I search for web development, I will see web development courses, web development company, web development tools, web development basics, and the same happens for YouTube. And I take note of the ideas that I like the most on a spreadsheet, so then I will have a list of related keywords to the cluster. And literally this process is rinse and repeat for each of your clusters. In order to find more keywords, I use people also ask for, which is a function that you can have each time you search for something on Google, which literally just compiles all of the questions people are asking related to your niche. And this is a great strategy to find keywords and also to find content ideas. Finally, you can use Google Keywords Planner to find the monthly traffic of each of those keywords and the competition. And you should also keep track of this in your Excel spreadsheet. The fun part has arrived: getting those ideas flowing into the paper. Unfortunately, this is also a step where most people block completely. And yes, I was one of those people every single week. And with this strategy, you will generate 3 topic ideas for each of your keywords. So if you have 5 content clusters with 10 ideas each, you will literally generate 150 ideas just with this process. But how exactly does it work? There are 3 main categories of content that represent the reader's intent. There's educational content, motivational content, and actionable content. So if we are talking about educational content, you want to create content around a keyword that literally educates the reader or teaches them something. So if one of your ideas is web development courses, one potential educational blog post could be how to become a web developer with these 10 online courses. What about the reader that is looking for motivation? A content idea could be how I became a web developer with these online courses. And finally, for the reader that is looking for actionable content, you could create a blog post about the only course online you will ever need to become a web developer. And so with this framework, you generate at least 3 topic ideas for each of your keywords. And remember that these keywords fulfill different readers' intents. The reader who is looking for education, the reader who is looking for motivation, and finally the reader who is looking for action. Now, the 5th step is about creating amazing content. So put yourself in your audience's shoes. What are they looking for? How can you help them? Use examples, use case studies, use tips, use personal examples, use everything that can add value to your reader. When you do the heavy lifting for your audience, they will appreciate you way more. And obviously, make sure you check your competitors, check their posts, check how well they are doing. And a great tool for this is using BuzzSumo to see how many backlinks each of your competitors is generating through that content. You've written an amazing blog post, but nobody is actually finding it online. Perhaps you need to optimize your SEO, or literally making sure your content is being found on the web. This is obviously important, especially because the higher you rank on Google, the higher the volume of searches you can expect from that content. And these are the 3 most important things you should worry about: your titles, your keywords during the content, and finally, your links. Starting with the title, it's very important that your title is optimized, because this is the first thing people see. So make sure you craft a compelling title that hooks the reader and gets their click. And you can also do this by doing more than your competitors. So if your competitors are doing a 10 top list, perhaps go a step further and do a 50 top list. Or if they are not including examples, make sure you include examples and mention it on the title. The goal is to get the click, so make sure you optimize your title. The second SEO strategy is to use keywords during your content. However, you really want to do this in a natural way and not trying to stuff as many keywords as you possibly can, because you will be penalized for sure. And finally, it's really important that you use both external and internal links during your posts. Every time you mention some resource or something that your readers would find interesting, make sure you include an external link. And every time you mention something you've covered previously on other blog posts, also add a link. Now, the last step is all about content marketing. Your content is online. So what is the next step? It's not starting again from scratch. There is still something that must be done, which is promoting your content. And here there are many possibilities. You have paid media, you have your own channels, you have organic, you have content distribution. There are so many ways of promoting your content, but you really want to make sure you are doing this step. The question you should ask yourself every time you publish a piece of content is this: how can I get this piece of content in front of the highest number of targeted eyeballs? And you should really watch this video to help you turn a single blog post into 10 plus social media posts. And with all of these steps, you should have a brilliant content strategy that is ready to be implemented. And remember, consistency is very important. You don't want to dump your content strategy plan in the first 2 weeks, just like it happens with most of our fitness goals. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. Thank you very much.